Hi, I'm Serene.
And hi, I'm Paige.
And we're here to talk about some of the films you can catch in the upcoming months. Starting from Interstellar, which is a film directed by Christopher Nolan. The story, for those of you who are not familiar, is about an engineer called Cooper who is widowed and he has to raise his kids single-handedly, but he gets dragged back into the engineering game when Michael Caine persuades him to go into space to rescue humanity because they've discovered a wormhole in space that could spell new hopes for mankind.
Well, from what I've seen from the trailer, I think it looks pretty amazing, but it definitely left me with more questions than answers. But I think the cast is pretty impressive.
Yes, Matthew McConaughey is starring in the main role as Cooper, and we've last seen him in his Oscar-winning role in
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes, that's the one.
And Anne Hathaway is also inside. I mean, from what I've seen, you know, Christopher Nolan is such a great director. He has such a good track record. His previous films like Inception, The Prestige, there's so many plot twists, and I'm really hoping to see that in Interstellar because right now I don't know what the heck's happening in the trailer.
Yeah, nobody does. I think he wants to keep it in secret so that you'll watch it when it hits theatres on the 6th of November. Another film we'd like to talk about is The Book of Life, which is produced by Guillermo del Toro, who is actually the director of the Hellboy series and Pan's Labyrinth. Do you know anything about him?
Well, I haven't really watched any of his films, but from the trailer, I really liked it. I thought the visuals were stunning and jaw-dropping, and there are very intricate details to it.
Yeah, we've seen that there's a very strong Mexican influence from all the candy skulls. And
yeah,
for those of you who are not familiar with the film, The Book of Life is actually a romantic comedy centering around the character of Manolo, and he has to win the girl of his dreams, Maria, from a dashing prince called Joaquin, who's voiced by Channing Tatum, and the girl Maria is actually starring Zoe Saldana, who was popular in the Avatar films, and we've last seen Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's quite an all-star list.
And even though, the plot seems rather simple and rather old-school fairy tale-like, but you know, Del Toro's films are never as straightforward as they seem.
That's true. I hope that this one will bring more plot twists and turns, and will be as interesting as it looks.
When does it open?
I think it opens on the 30th of October, so that's quite early. You can make plans to catch it soon.
Oh yeah, and I know there's another animated film coming up, Big Hero 6 by Disney.
Yes, that one's the big blockbuster end of animated films, I would guess, because it's actually a story about a boy called Hero and his robot Baymax.
Oh my gosh. I think that the inflatable robot in the trailer is so endearingly cute, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fan favorite when the film was released.
Yeah, it seems like, judging from the trailers, it seems to be the focus of all the attention because it's adorable, and not many people know this, but the story of Hero and Baymax were actually based on an existing Marvel comics.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Disney bought over Marvel in 2009, so I think this is their version of the superhero genre, which is quite popular now, and it seems to be dominated by Marvel and DC, so hopefully Disney will add their voice to them. It seems like, unlike the Iron Man films and Batman films, this one, the animated film, will be a more family-friendly.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I thought it had this really fun and energetic vibe to it.
Yeah.
And given Disney's widespread appeal, I'm sure that it will find an audience among families and kids of all ages.
It opens on the 13th November, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does.
There we go, okay. But I do know another film that you're most excited about, called something about the Hunger Games Part 3.
Okay,
Can you tell us more about it?
So basically, the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, the director Francis Lawrence, he actually cut the Suzanne Collins' last book into 2 parts. So this is the first part.
Okay.
For people who have caught the first 2 films, Jennifer Lawrence, who played Katniss Everdeen, was battling out in the 2 arenas.
Yes.
But right now in Mockingjay, she is going to become the nation's hero, and she's trying to fight against the tyrannical capital.
And judging from the books, I heard that the third act to be a slightly darker turn for the characters.
Yeah, as in from the trailer, it's definitely more grim, and not going to spoil anything, but there are some characters who will unfortunately pass away.
And I heard those characters were actually fan favorites, so I guess this will be a shock to many people who haven't read the books. How do you think that they're going to split into 2 acts though? Do you think there'll be enough?
Well, for me, I personally found the third book more convoluted and complex than the other 2 books, so I think they have enough content to pan it out over 2 films, but I'm not sure how they're going to fill in for Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, because I found out he passed away, and his scenes were unfinished.
Plutarch Heavensby in the book.
And who is that?
He's one of the new game makers who tries to get Katniss out of the arena, so he's basically a good guy.
And he's a major character too, so I'm interested to see how they're going to fill that gap left by him.
Oh, and the tumultuous love relationship between Katniss and Peter, who is played by Josh Hutcherson.
Okay, and I think there was another guy, Gale.
Yes, Gale.
Is it a love triangle? It is,
It
isn't it?
sort of is. So, like, if you want to find out what happens to the three of them, you should catch The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, which comes out on 20th November.
I'm more interested in another book to movie adaptation. Do you know anything about The Hobbit?
Well, I didn't really read the books, and neither did I follow the series because I only watched the first film.
Okay, then I'll fill you in. The Hobbit, the third movie in the Hobbit installment is called The Battle of the Five Armies, which is actually referring to a major war in Middle-earth. And the five armies are the wargs, the goblins, the men, and the dwarves, and the elves. There's also the involvement of Smaug, who's actually the dragon that they've angered in the second movie, and he's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. He did a good job in the second film, so I'm interested to see where this takes him.
Well, I really hope the third film does justice to the book because I found the first part rather draggy.
If you're worried about the lack of action, I think the battle between the five armies will solve that.
Well, so you can be sure to check it out in cinemas when it comes out on 18 December.
And that's all the time we have for the Nanyang Chronicle. Come back soon for more videos.